Being made game 4 between the Thunder and the Spurs, and very early on in this game you got a real feeling as for who was going to take over. Early first quarter, Spurs were down one skinny little point. Chet Holmgren cutting inside. Oh, Wemby. Oh, the love is there. Wemby rejecting him at the basket. Like I said, setting the tone early. Then Stephon Castle lobbing it to Wemby. He's doing the offensive side of things now. Spurs up one. The lead would just really grow out of there. One might say it gets out of hand. Castle, the three. Spurs up 8. Castle pushing it up now finds Devin Vassell for another 3. He made 2 of those, and the lead is now 11. A minute later, friend of the program, Jared McCain working inside. No! Vassell blocks him. Gonna find Wemby. This is a ridiculous spurt. Wemby gets that, which is part of a 16-0 run by the Spurs. They were up 9 after just one quarter. We go to the second quarter. Thunder down 41-34. Cason Wallace. Nope, that's a miss. Holmgren there for the tip, and it's only a 5-point game. Spurs, they get the ball back. Wemby takes it back to 7. Then the closing seconds of the half. Like, you know Wemby can do it, but when he's doing it like this, pulling up at half court, he wanted that. 40 feet out. That is the longest make of his career. Wemby had 22 points in the first half. The Spurs, courtesy of that one, led 50-38 at the break. Now they go to the third, because that's how this works. And it's early. Spurs are up 9. Castle getting some help from Wemby there. There's a 12-point Spurs lead after the free throw. Defense into offense, more of that. Castle with the defense, going to find Wemby. Wemby with the slam. I mean, sit back and enjoy. Coming in hot. Spurs up 18. Take that to 22. Vassell jumps the Holmgren pass. Dylan Harper lobs it to Castle. Castle, boom. Late in the third, Harper with the offensive rebounds, laying it in. That gave the Spurs a 25-point lead. That is their largest against the Thunder this season. If you're curious what happened in the fourth quarter, the answer is not much from the Thunder. Castle with another steal. Gets it to Wemby, who had 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks. The Spurs win 103-82. They tie the series to go back to OKC.
All right, Kendrick Perkins joins us now for some much-needed perspective on this series. And look, Perk, you've been in these games before. You know how momentum can go back and forth. For the Spurs, considering they won game 1, they lose 2, now they come back and win game 4. What's been the common denominator in their wins here?
That guy we just got through listening to. And you know, my grandparents used to always tell me, he's young, but he got an old soul, baby. And that's what we just watched, and
yes.
That's what we just listened to in that interview. And when you talk about leadership, that's the true definition of leadership. See, Wemby is not afraid of getting uncomfortable. He's not afraid of holding himself accountable and maxing out. And tonight what we saw was a response that we expected. We saw him be a big man first and then show guard skills. When he come out with that mindset of I'm going to dominate the paint on both ends of the floor, the Spurs are unbeatable. But when he comes out and he's timid and he's soft and he's trying to do other things that's not being Wemby type things, and that means being the most dominant player in the league, then they struggle. But tonight was one of those nights. And I also look at the 5 assists. When you're able to get yours and make guys around you better, that's called growth and that's called leadership.
And that's what he said he needed to do better after game 3.
The interesting thing here is what they did to the Thunder, because so much of that game felt like the Thunder just couldn't do anything. Nothing was falling. What were the Spurs doing? Why couldn't they hit anything?
You saw them dogs out there. And it started with Stephon Castle. I didn't know whether to call him a Doberman or a pit bull, the way they sicked him on SGA today. And he the one that really, yes, Wemby was the best player on the floor, but Stephon Castle actually set the tone from the jump with his physicality. To be honest, I have never seen anybody in the league be able to guard SGA 101 like we're witnessing right now in Stephon Castle. That wasn't a lot of doubling coming. That was me and you, mano a mano. Everything was tough. The catches was tough. Him getting the ball, SGA trying to get the ball up the floor was tough. He was challenging his shots without fouling. He kept them off the free throw line. All across the board, I thought Stephon Castle tonight was the unsung hero of this game, while Wemby was the best player on the floor.
Yeah, young fellow was not scared of the moment or the assignment in that regard.
Yeah.
Game 5 coming up Tuesday in Oklahoma City. It is pivotal because it's now just a 3-game series. Perk has lost game 2 on the real after being up 15 and then losing by 15. It was going to say a lot about how you guys responded here in game 4. Well, I think you answered that question. From a mental standpoint, what was your guys' approach considering what had happened in game 3?
We knew we could be a lot better. We missed up on a lot of coverages, and we've been playing really slow. So we were just trying to get out, avoid their pressure, and dominate the paint, honestly.
When you have conversations in the locker room after the game that you had, before going into this one, what are those conversations like between the team to get you in the right mindset to go out and do what you did tonight?
I mean, we feel like we've been here before. I mean, we've been down before. We're a very resilient team, so we knew we had to respond. In front of our home crowd, of course, and with all that energy, so we were ready to go.
You're playing a team that won the championship last year, and they were playing really well coming into this series, but obviously you matched up against them very well in the regular season as well. From your opponent, Devin, what certain things can you pick up from how they do things in a series like this that you can apply to your own game and be successful against them?
Just being ultra aggressive. I think they're a super physical team. They get away with a lot, so we try to use that against them too. We're trying to be ultra physical, beat them up, speed them up, cause turnovers, and get out in transition.
Hold on, was that a dig? You said they get away with a lot? Was that a little dig there? A little something? Okay.
I mean, look, it's the NBA playoffs. They get a lot. They get away with it. We get away with it. So they can't call everything.
There was a lady sitting courtside tonight who came with a fake little mini Oscar that she held up, Devin. I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't see that.
Every time she thought SGA flopped, she held up a little Oscar. Did you see it?
I think San Antonio has the craziest fans. They come up with the craziest stuff for sure.
That is tremendous. And defensively, you guys were able to shut them. I mean, there was a point where it felt like they couldn't get anything to hit.
They shot 33%.
And nothing from 3. What was it that you guys did that you thought was the defensive, just the linchpin?
Long film sessions. Long film sessions. You don't want to get chewed out no more. We just felt like we were leaving it open way too much. We weren't rotating how we were supposed to. So we cleaned that up and had a really good defensive game.
Devin, we appreciate you stopping by to talk to us after that one. Congratulations, and we'll see you again in a couple nights.
When you play 12 playoff games, they're not all going to be masterpieces. So as much as you want to win, there's nights where you just don't have it for whatever reason. And so maybe it was one of those nights, but you also can't throw it away. You have to look at the process in a clear-eyed manner and see what corrections you can make. And I think some of the turnovers and some of the shooting was a result of the way we played and a result of the way they defended. I'd never take away credit from them when they played the way they did, but it's a little bit of both probably. It wasn't our night, but at the same time, we could have been a lot better, and we need to be a lot better in Game 5 when we want to compete in the game.
Vic, to your right, those of us who watched you kind of mess around shooting half-court shots after shoot-arounds and practices, it doesn't seem like you make a whole lot of those when you're messing around. What did you think leading into that one, going into halftime?
I was just thinking shoot to score. I wasn't messing around at halftime.
He said he's really enjoying the adjustments. And I was curious for you in your first playoffs, how much have you enjoyed the game-to-game adjustments as a chess player yourself? How would you compare it?
There's definitely similarities, as in any strategy game. It's fun. It's very fun. In the playoffs, at some point, especially when a series drags on, everybody knows the other team almost by heart. So it's different. I would say the coaches hold a lot of this load of the chess match. The coaching staff, all the strategy. It's a lot. They do a lot of film. They work really hard.
Vic on the right. You said when you were sitting there the other day, we're going to find out what we're made of in this game. So one, did you wonder what the answer to that would be, and what did you find out tonight?
I didn't really wonder, no, because we didn't do nothing unexpected. But the truth is that we had never been in this kind of situation before. It was our first deficit in the playoff series. And we just responded, but it was nothing amazing. It wasn't magic. We just did what we needed to do, and the series is far from over. We got 6 more wins before we can rest.
In the first quarter, Devin had that block of McCain. Mm-hmm. Then he comes down court and feeds you for a lob dunk. Does that kind of sum up how good he's been on both ends in this series and in the whole playoffs?
It's hard to sum it up with just one play because his impact has been all over the floor on all kinds of areas and off the floor as a leader. So summing up his impact with just this play would not be fair to him.
Vic, after the last game, you said you needed to do a better job of essentially helping your teammates, and everyone around the team kind of says that you're hard on yourself. I'm wondering where that comes from, and then, how do you manage the last 48 hours in your first playoff run and not letting that get to you?
I don't know if I'm hard on myself. We all have high standards, and I know I have a lot of responsibilities, but I'm here for it. And yeah, it was better today. It wasn't perfect. But we all of us, I'm talking like the whole organizations, we're gonna have to do things that we didn't sign up for. I'm an employee to play basketball, but I'm not an employee to talk to whoever and find out answers to. We're all gonna do things like that, and that's why, as I was saying, I need to find ways to impact the game in many areas.
Offensively tonight, Vic, how much of tonight was reacting to what the Thunder were doing defensively, and how much of it was you deciding from a certain moment, at the start of a possession, what you wanted to do and then kind of dictating it that way?
It was a little bit of both. It's a balance we got to keep in. It's a balance that I think we had kind of wrong in earlier in this series.
You got to spend the last 8.5 minutes of the game on the bench because you guys were ahead by so much. Is that helpful to you at this point in the series to grab that much rest?
Yeah, of course. We'll get anything we get, any advantage, any edge, so we're going to use that. We need to